Here I am, I'm Ben Wyzer, and I'm on your radio. Can you handle it? I'm Ben Wyzer. Hookers and strippers. What do they look like? What do hookers and strippers look like out in the real world, out in the world that you and us normal people live in? I'm sure they're out there. They're all around you. Have you figured out who they are? At the gas station? At the grocery store. There she is, picking out some lettuce, a hooker. Or maybe it's a stripper. Do you ever try to guess? Like I said at the gas station. She has to put gas in her car, just like everyone else. Is that a hooker over there? Could be a stripper. Yeah, it just makes you excited thinking about it. Which one do you prefer, the hooker or the stripper? Do you see her? Do you not? Could be someone's secretary. No, that looks like a stripper. Out there in the light of day with you and mommies and daddies, grandparents and babies and strippers and hookers. Of course, they all have their own little babies. Mommy's out working, making good money. Hookers and strippers, do you know one from the other? What do they look like when you usually see them? They look different. A hooker doesn't look the same as a stripper. The hooker, the ones on the street, the leopard print short skirts, the long sexy legs, the skimpy tank top, the backless top tied up behind the neck. That tube top stretched across, that's your hooker. What color is that tube top? Do you know? Do you see her? Covering her tatas, that tank top. The tube top. What color is it? A shimmering gold. A shimmering gold. Looks nice under the street light. That's your hooker. How about a bright red fire engine top? A fire engine red top with long, tall boots and bright red as well. That's your hooker. Ha! Shiny boots. Leaning up against that corner sign. Stop. No, don't stop. It's a hooker. I'm sure she gets tired. Do you have her pictured in your mind? What is that hooker wearing when she's working? She wants to get your attention. I'm sure she's tired leaning up against that pole. Isn't that what she looks like when she's working? Isn't that your hooker in your mind? That image, that hot image of that hooker that you're gonna buy. Does a stripper look the same? Why not? It's a whole different job, right? It's a performance job. When you see your stripper, she has on some lovely and elegant outfit. Of course, she might have some tall boots, but those are too tough to get off when she's on stage stripping. Hooker just takes it off, says, here I am. The stripper says, I'm going to take it off one piece at a time and move around, and you're just going to watch. I'm a stripper. She may have those acrylic high heels. You can see through her shoes, maybe even some lights inside. That's your stripper. Is she wearing acrylic see-through shoes when she first walks out on stage? She wearing a nice baby blue shimmering top, wiggling it around? Shimmer, shimmer, shimmy. Your stripper looks like that, with a short skirt that teases but still slides down easily. That's your stripper at work. You picture your hooker and your stripper? Can you see how they look different at work? They might both have that blonde hair. Do you prefer a blonde hooker? A blonde stripper? A long blonde hair? Of course you do. The brunettes are nice for a change, but you have been picturing all along a blonde. A fake blonde. You can tell it's a fake blonde. But you don't care. But what do these hookers and strippers look like the next day? On the street. Not hooking on the street, but at the grocery store. We already talked about this. At Kmart, where they're shopping for their baby. At the park. You're there rollerblading. You're there bicycling. You're there just hanging out. You're juggling. You're just sitting on a picnic table. What do you see? You see a blonde coming along with a baby. She a hooker on her day off? A stripper on the day off? How do you know? How can you tell in daily life, going about your days, whether those tatas, whether that bomb is a hooker bonbon and a hooker tatas, or some lovely taken care of stripper body boobs, stripper body bottom, the sleek curves. But she sort of looks normal, doesn't she? Out in the light of day. What if I had this experience? I was driving along and I stop at a stoplight and I look into the back windshield, the back window, and I see this blonde head. This blonde head had hairspray. It had this blonde hair that was unnatural back there. It was molded, it was sculpted, it was there, but it was sort of normal. It's sort of stripper. I wasn't so much thinking of hooker. I was thinking stripper. Why? It looked too prepared for a secretary. Certainly not an accountant or an insurance sales lady or even a real estate lady. A real estate agent with hooker hair, with stripper hair. No way. She kinda looked like she could be nice. I looked to the rearview mirror. Outside her rearview mirror, in the middle of her windshield, where you're supposed to look from behind, and you look in and you see their eyes. Could not see it. She had it turned down toward her, making sure she's looking nice. Was she going to work? Was she going to the strip club? She's just driving on the streets. Was she headed to work? There's another mirror. I glance over the mirror on the side, driver's side, right outside of her window. I look there. Can I see her? I see her face. Just enough to see that she had a stripper tan. A stripper, tan face, and cute. Kind of turned over that direction, and she had nice eyes. I could see her being a stripper. I looked at her car. It wasn't brand new. It wasn't a real estate agent car. You wouldn't be taking strangers for rides in that car. You'd be going back and forth from your little tiny apartment to the strip joint. This was a stripper, I'm sure, but how could I be sure? I wanted to make sure I wasn't. Wanted to know. Don't you want to know? That lady in the park, at the grocery store, at the gas station? Is she a stripper? I looked at that car. It was an older model car. 8 to 12 years old. I don't know. I was looking at the stripper. The manufacturer's emblem was off the car, broken off. I don't know. Trailer park? She turned towards that window, that mirror again off on her left side. Let me see. Let me see. Just before we go green at the stoplight, let me see her face again. She turns to look into her side view mirror again. Back at me. Back that direction. Out that window. I don't know. I don't care. I see her face. I see her eyes. And she blinks. She lowers her eyelids down. Not a quick blink, but a longer blink where I could see glitter. A stripe of glitter. About a 1/4 inch stripe of glitter across her eyelids. I know it's a stripper on her way to work. A friend of mine said, of course, she couldn't be a hooker with glitter on her eyelids. The married John who went to bed with the hooker doesn't want to go home with glitter on him. How do you explain that to your wife? I stopped by an elementary school. I stopped by a church Sunday school on the way here, and they were doing crafts, and they were making glitter and macaroni little doohickey crafts for their parents, and I got glitter on me. No, not with a hooker. Hookers won't wear that. It's a stripper. Very nice. Looked lovely. Actually looked fantastic. Beautiful. I would want to see that stripper up on stage. I would want to see that. I'm not putting her down. I'm just telling you, this is what she looked like. This is how I knew. This is how I figured out that this was a stripper. I was paying attention. Don't you pay attention? What else would clinch it? Now I was riveted. We were going along the street. We were going along quite a ways until we came up to another stoplight. As we were driving along up to that stoplight, I was thinking what else would make this picture perfect. Picture perfect would be her smoking a cigarette, of course. Maybe even see her flick the butt out the window. That would make it. That would make it the image, the stereotype. What I think, if I were going to guess, if I were going to have clues, that would be a clue that would add up with others, of course. To be my stripper. Oh, well, don't your strippers smoke? Of course they smoke. What does this girl do? Does she smoke? I don't know. So we get up to that stoplight, and I stop right behind her, up pretty close. What do I care? It's a stripper. Is she gonna get mad at me? Come tearing out of that car at the stoplight and choke me, huh? Pull up right on her bumper, getting as close as I can, because I want to see. I'm amused. I've already figured out. It's a stripper in real life, on real streets, with real people, normal people, people going to and from work, people going to and from the store, people going to and from the gas station, regular people out there doing their regular stuff, and she had to do regular stuff too, and maybe she's doing what you do every day. Maybe she was headed to work. I figured it out. At that stoplight, what do I see? She turns her head again with her hand up in front of her face, I'm sure. I can't see. I'm looking from behind. Oh, it's a cigarette! Yes! My stripper smokes! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! That hair, that blonde hair. That was that fake blonde, and it was so hairsprayed in the back to make some sort of shape. And that tan face. And those beautiful eyes that say dollars and fives and tens and 20s, please. My baby needs it, and I'm beautiful. And the eyelids with the glitter, so good for her performance. And it wasn't at the local theater, children's theater. It's at a strip club, you know. And I thought, one more thing, come on. I don't know what it could be. Do you know? Do you know what it could be? What's one more thing from your vantage point? Behind this car, 8 to 12 years old, this car. Manufacturer's emblem turn up, you're looking through the window, and you see the back of this blonde head. And she smokes. And you know she's a stripper, and you just are so amused, and you're happy, and it makes your day that you're so smart, and she's just a stripper. What else do you see? This girl is talented. She's chomping on a big piece of gum as she's smoking. Yes! That's my talented stripper in that car. Chewing on gum, smoking a cigarette, glitter eyelids. Good for you! Go find a stripper at the grocery store. Enjoy yourself. They'll stand out. You'll know who they are. And it's fun. It's fun for everyone. Go teach your kids how to identify a stripper out in the real world. Good for you. Good for her. They're nice enough girls. I wish that gal, I wish her the best money shift she ever had that evening. No skin off my nose. Her grandma was watching her kid. This is Ben Wyzer. I'm wiser than you. Enjoy life and get out there. And enjoy finding the strippers!